is here now. The power of now is here now. The power of you, me, is here to create magic on earth.
Welcome back to the Mastering You podcast with Natalie Newhart. Thank you so much for being here. Now let's get to work. So today what we're going to be talking about are some of the keys, my 5 keys to shifting from a diet and weight loss approach to a health and vitality approach. And, I just want to, as always, I would just enjoy sharing my own personal journey of shifting from between these two phases, because it's pretty difficult if you don't have a mentor, if you don't have guidance. It's super scary because there's so much fear that holds us back, because we don't trust ourselves and stuff like that. So I really want to encourage you or empower you with, just some of the wisdom that I've, experienced through overcoming some of these challenges. And, honestly, guys, I feel like I say the same thing in every podcast. So hopefully you guys aren't getting me saying the same things, but, it just shows how just important they are when I say, kind of like the same things, the same tips and stuff like that. And, it's actually pretty nice. It's nice to know that, oh, like she keeps saying these 3 things over and over and over, or these 5 things, so it's nice to know that it's like, man, if I just master these things, like, then I'm going to get to where I want to go, right? Instead of like thinking that you need to do a million things, which be easy to think if you're listening to a bunch of different podcasts that are telling you a bunch of different things. That can be very overwhelming. So, if my message resonates with you, I would suggest you really be very discerning of how many different approaches you're listening to, because your energy can only go in so many directions. And if you haven't spread out all over the place, then you really don't make any progress. So getting into it, I feel like for many of us, there comes a point in our life where having our body look a certain way stops being as important, right? It stops being so important as it used to when we were younger. And what becomes more important is feeling a certain way, right? Like feeling good, like really feeling good, mentally, physically, spiritually. And this can mean very different things for every single person, right? Like what my definition of feeling good, like I have this vision inside my mind, but it's probably not the same as yours, right? Like you probably don't see yourself doing qigong in the mountains, or maybe meditating in nature. I don't know, right? But part of my vision is also being super strong and super powerful and athletic, and it's like this perfect balance. But that's my vision, right? That's my vision of feeling a certain way, or feeling good. Your vision of feeling good is going to be very unique to you, and we really don't understand like what feeling good means to us until we start going down the path and we realize, oh, that does not make me feel good, right? So it's like, maybe I thought I was going to do CrossFit every single day, and I realize, oh, I don't really feel that good. I feel super tired. I feel like I'm hurting all the time. I don't have energy for anything else, so it's, so you down one path to realize, oh, that's not it. Okay, that's not it. So we're going to try something else. So, but the thing is, like, I feel like many of us go on this journey where we start off wanting to look a certain way. We want the abs, we want the muscle, the toned legs, the lean physique. We want the indents in our body, the creases, whatever. And we also want the compliments. We want those compliments of like, wow, you look so good. You must work really hard. Oh, do you work out? Like we want to be the person that stands out in our people. We want to, and that when somebody walks by us, they glance a second time. That's kind of where a lot of us start, is we want this certain body, right? For all these reasons. And it's like, why do we, yeah, we also want to feel good, but it's like, there's a lot of pressure that we put on ourselves a certain way, And so, and it's like, we go through a lot of like, strain and agony in order to look a certain way. Like we starve ourselves, all sorts of crazy shit. Right. And so we got to ask ourselves, like, why does that mean so goddamn much to me? Sorry about that, but why does that mean so damn much to me? Why do I want those things? Why does that mean so much to me? And what is there's a part of us that really feels powerful, feels better, we feel important, we feel special, we feel above others, we feel admirable, we feel more lovable, we feel special, we feel more worthy, if we look this way and we're getting all these external validations, and whether that be external validation or an internal validation, meaning like, oh, I only love myself if I look a certain way. We make our love for ourselves dependent on what our body looks like. And, and we don't realize it in the moment when we're doing it. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be loved, wanting to feel needed, wanting to feel important. That's just human nature. We want to feel like we have a place here. We want to feel like we're important. We want to feel seen, and every single creature on this planet, human being or not, wants to feel loved. Like, look at the animals out there. There's so many cute little animal things on Instagram, like those gorillas. They're always, loving on each other. Pets, they want to feel loved. We want to feel connected. We want to feel accepted. We want to feel included. We want to feel like we matter. And the thing is, though, is that the problem lies when we make our love and our worthiness dependent on certain things. Like, we aren't lovable unless we look this way. So then we go to extreme lanes to look a particular way, including abusing our body, sacrificing our health and well-being, just to feel enough, just to feel like we're enough, just to feel like we're seen, just to feel like we're needed, like we're accepted. And yeah, that can come in many forms, this way of abusing ourselves. It can look like anorexia or bulimia, taking diet pills, taking those fat burning drugs, doing diets that make you deprive yourself, to restrict foods, to binge later, over exercising, to getting surgery, cutting into your body to make your skin tighter, your stomach smaller, your lips bigger, whatever other crazy things that they're doing these days. And I was one of them, guys. I was totally one of them. I was, I never got like the surgery or anything like that. I never got underneath the knife, but I was anorexic in my teens. I took that phentermine drug for as long as I could order it. I remember, like, because my mom used to order that phentermine. So the phentermine, I don't know if you guys remember, but it was basically like crack. I don't know. My mom was doing it, I think, to like not eat and to stay skinny. And that was after she actually got her stomach shrunken. So she got surgery. So she actually she got that like bypass thing, right? Where, like, I don't know, just makes your stomach smaller. So then she got skinny, but then she like started taking this phentermine drug, and I saw her take the drug. And so I was like, which is just a pill. And so I started to steal from her pills. And then I started buying them for years, until you couldn't. And then, so then I started doing diet pills. Like, I would just go to Walmart and buy diet pills. So, like, I did that. I did every diet underneath. And, I starved myself, and I've binged myself just as many times I starved myself, because you can't have one without the other. I also did the performance enhancing drugs. When I was doing bodybuilding, I did fat burning drugs like Anavar and clenbuterol. And I even injected some sort of, I don't even know what it was, guys. I think growth hormone into my shoulders to make my delts look bigger for building. And like that's just like where I was at, dude. Like, I did all this crazy shit. Like, I stuck a needle in my arm, and that wasn't even, I stuck a needle in my shoulders and in my stomach. I forget what the stomach one was for. Anyways, it was just like, all because I wanted to, all because I wanted to be the best. I wanted to be seen. I wanted to be needed. I wanted the attention. I wanted to feel loved by others, which, attention is love, essentially. You want somebody to see you, to acknowledge you, to compliment you. And I needed all these external validations because I was so damn insecure in myself. I had no love for myself at all. The degree to which you are willing to sacrifice yourself to do all these crazy things is a reflection of how much love you have for yourself. I did not see myself as worthy or deserving of love unless I looked a certain way, unless I was on a podium, unless I performed a certain way. And that's all good and fine until you realize it never ends. Until you realize that you're going to have to keep up with that for the rest of your life, right? It's a never-ending road. You'll be chasing forever. You'll be running forever. You'll be dieting forever. You'll be starving forever. You'll be binging forever. You'll be forcing yourself to work out forever. And the thing is, like, the body, we may be able to do that mentally, but the body can't do with that. The body's going to start to slow down. It starts to get stressed. It starts to get tired. It starts to hurt. It starts to get injured. It starts to get sick because of that battle, because of that heaviness, that pressure. And so long as I made my worth dependent on winning and looking super lean, looking a certain way, that meant that I wasn't ever going to live the lifestyle that I actually wanted. Which was, well, first off, what it meant was that I was going to have to train several hours a day, right? And push hard every single time, force myself to the gym. So I wasn't going to be able to go on vacations because out of fear of, gaining weight. I wouldn't be able to go out to restaurants because of that fear. I was going to have to follow meal plans and obsess over my next meal and my next workout. I was going to have to feel hungry all the time and say no to certain foods, only to find myself closet eating and feeling out of control with food afterwards. I was going to have to constantly battle the guilt and the shame and regret that came with eating something that I shouldn't have eaten, or the guilt of taking a rest day, or the fear of taking a rest day, which means if, I was going to feel tired and exhausted all the time. And if I'm tired and exhausted all the time, my body starts to break down. It means that's when you start to get sick. You starts to, get adrenal fatigue, hypothyroid, stomach issues, digestion issues, losing hair. You have no energy, no passion for life. You're dreading life every single day you wake up because you know that you have to just go through that same routine again. And I realized that was going to be my worth. So long as I continued to make my worth dependent, that was going to be my life. Sorry. So long as I made my worth dependent on how good of an athlete I was, or what I looked like. And so from the age of 18 to 30, I was willing to live that life, right? Because in the beginning, I was super passionate about it. That was actually the life I wanted. I didn't mind sacrificing my happiness and my freedom, my schedule. I didn't mind sacrificing, going to restaurants and stuff like that, and not going on vacations and stuff like that. But there just came a point in my life where I just got tired of living that way. I got tired of that structure, that rigidness, all the plans and the rules and the constant worrying and, overthinking your next workout, next meal, and how cut my body looked. And I really started to tap into I really want to live a life of passion, of adventure. I wanted to go camping and climbing and be in nature. I wanted the freedom to choose how I wanted to work out each day, what intensity, if I even wanted to work out, and I wanted the ability to love movement. I wanted the ability to trust myself around food, to feel empowered and not be afraid of food. And I wanted the ability to enjoy fun foods without the guilt or without the fear that I was going to go out of control with it. I wanted to spend the day. I wanted to have the choice to spend the day watching movies with my husband and not feel bad about it, or having to, not worrying about my 10,000 steps or anything like that. And I actually, the thing is that I wanted all of these things without letting my body completely go, right? I wanted to find this balance where I still felt good about I felt good in my body. Like my body was still strong, still felt athletic, still felt light. It's extremely important for me to be fit and feel strong and light, but not at the, not, not at the expense of my, right? So it's like finding that balance. So here I was at a point in my life where I wasn't willing to continue living that dieting mentality because it was literally killing me, you know? But I wasn't willing to just give up my body health and my fitness. So in order to create a fit body with more peace and freedom that I was after, I had to learn how to master a new approach. I had to master a health and vitality approach to fitness and dieting, to fitness and nutrition. And so that's what's been my journey for the last 8 years. And that's what I want to share with you guys on this episode today, are obstacles that I encountered. And when I made the shift, feeling good from dieting to 5 tips to make, because, if your story is anything like mine, go through the same, and hopefully it won't take you as long as it's taken me to figure this stuff out. You don't have to go through the same struggles and challenges that I went through, and you can save yourself years of time, money, and effort. And, and also I just want to say, like, at least most of the clients I've coached, it doesn't take people, it shouldn't take you 8 years to make this transition. It shouldn't take you as long as it's taken me. I had some pretty gnarly habits that I had created with food, and self-destructive habits with exercise. Didn't have a mentor that I could actually relate to very well, like with the same story that I had, so I had to really figure out this stuff on my own. And which is, the reason why it's taken me so long to find my path, with health and vitality. And also the second reason is, I'm also kind of the type of person that, like, I want to master things. I want to be masterful at my body, at health and vitality. So, the things that are really important to me, such as my body and my happiness, my freedom, my peace, I want to understand every little minute detail. I want to learn from the best. I want to be an expert at it. Not so people see me as wise or the best, but it's just what I want for myself. Like that, I always have, like, a very big, I always want to take things to the nth degree, right? And to me, there's no better journey to go on than the journey of self-discovery, this journey of health and vitality, of understanding yourself, knowing yourself so well, and the journey of self-love is what this is. That's what self-mastery is, the journey of self-love. And, I have no problem committing my time, my lifetime to doing that. And, and because it's what I love, it's, what I enjoy sharing, with you guys. That's just like a cherry on top. So let's go ahead and get into that. Like, what have I learned? What can I share with you that will help you make that shift from, looking good to feeling good, from dieting to vitality? So the first thing I want to say is that, number one, the shift comes at different times for different people. Like, and it's really important that it's not to be forced. Like, if you don't feel ready to start, like if you're not feeling called to wanting to really feel good, to actually like feel like take the best care of yourself, if you don't have the desire, deep desire in your heart to feel your best and know balance and peace and vitality in your life, then don't even start. Wait until you're ready. Wait until it's something that you have to do. It's like something, like there's this point in you where it's just like something, right? Because you're no longer happy with the dieting approach. It's making you miserable. You're no longer maybe you're in pain and the fatigue, or the pain is so bad basically that you have to do something different. That's when, some people are forced into this transition because their body simply cannot keep up with the demands of, the stressful demands of dieting, that rigid way of eating and training and living and whatever. So the body just has to break down. And if you're not listening to it, the body just starts to shout louder and louder, and results in immune issues, gut issues, hormone issues, adrenal fatigue, diabetes, weight gain, headaches, body pain, etc. Right? So that's one way, right? That sometimes people go through, is that their health gets so bad, you have to make a change in their lifestyle, whether they want to or not, right? In order to avoid like severe damage. Other people, on the other hand, choose to switch to a holistic based approach just because they're just having such a controlling life, right? Such an unfulfilling life, and want to feel. And these people don't necessarily have to switch, but maybe they're, like I said, they're just tired of counting macros, tired of counting calories, tired of following meal plans, tired of following strict diet plans. Tired of spending energy concerned about what they're going to eat and when they're going to work out and whether they've gained a pound or lost a pound. And, they're just tired of not living that fulfilling life that they want. And these people are inspired to change their way of living because they want to expand. They want to grow. They want a life of more freedom and adventure. They want a better quality of life. And that has become more important than how they look. Okay. And then there's also the group of people that never make the shift from diet to health. And that's generally just because they're usually afraid, right? Because they're afraid to let go of their current control. They're afraid of what's going to happen to their body. They're afraid of losing their body if they stop tracking macros, or stop doing X diet plan, or stop intermittent fasting, or whatever it is. So that means that they just continue to live in that sort of fear paradigm and just live a particular lifestyle. I'm not saying it's wrong or bad or anything. It's just a certain way of living. So, quick interruption. Hey guys, Natalie Newhart here. If you resonate with my message and would like to learn more about how to master your behaviors, create peak vitality in your body, and live a more effortless life, then click the link in the show notes to set up a 30-minute coaching call with me. On our call, we'll take an assessment of what's standing in your way from becoming your best self and the steps to overcome them. Okay, back to the show. And everything is our choice. We are either choosing to diet, or we're choosing to live a life of vitality and health. We're choosing to, track macros or follow these strict plans, or we can choose to have more freedom. But it's not so easy, right? It's like there's a lot of things that stand in our way from doing that. And, it's understandable how people can get stuck in this dieting mentality for so long, if not their entire life, because, everybody's teaching us how to do more. Everyone's teaching us how to follow a plan, how to trust this coach, how to eat a certain way, how to train like this, how to take on more rules, right? Nobody's really teaching us how to let go. Definitely not in the dieting space, right? Nobody's teaching us how to let go of control, how to let go of the plans and the structures and the rules. Nobody's teaching us how to trust ourselves. Like, that's not built into like dieting, right? Like, it's like the opposite. How to become independent and sovereign and trust yourself instead of trusting this podcast, like some X person, right? And this is why what I'm hoping to bring across this podcast is, I'm not here to, when I take clients on, I'm not here to like give you another plan, right? I want to empower you to trust yourself and know yourself so damn well that you know how to take and want to take the best care of yourself, so that you naturally feel good and you look good, or whatever, you just feel good in your body, you feel good in your clothes. And that's what, that's where I feel like there's kind of a gap. I feel like, there's not many people teaching you how to let go of all these things, continue to create that light, strong, vibrant body that we all want, right? Which is why I've created the program that I have, the self-mastery program. So people could have a step-by-step path on how to let go of this phase, this dieting phase, this dieting mentality, and still have a body that you being in that is fun to live in. Okay. So throughout, like I said, I faced many obstacles and had to learn many come these obstacles. And so some of these skills, I want to just go over them, these 5 skills that I've learned. Number 1 was how to not place my self-worth in how I looked or how busy I was or how successful I was. So this allowed me to really slow down, by learning that by not placing my worth in these things, I was able to slow down and actually rest and, take time to actually do nothing, to take care of myself. And it's just that many people can't sit down or slow down or take a day off or just allow yourself to do nothing. And they think it's because it's just how they are, right? They just say, oh, this is just how I am. My mind's just super busy. But the thing is that there's actually like a program running that, our self-worth is actually caught up in how many things we do, or how much we get done in a day. And there's like this belief level that, doing nothing is lazy or weak or something. So we're afraid of like doing that, right? So working on building up your self-worth is the first step to feeling your best, is the first step to switching to that holistic approach of feeling your best, to switching to health and vitality. The second tip that I have is learning how to truly appreciate and love and accept yourself in every shape and form. And this is one of this is probably one of the hardest skills that I had to learn. Because in a world that's telling us that we need to look a certain way, that we should be a certain way, that we should be skinny and be smart and be pretty and, be successful, be the best, be the fastest, be the strongest, it requires a great amount of strength to stand in yourself, to stand for your true self, the self that is inside of you deeply, not the self that people see on the outside, but your true, genuine, authentic self, your heart self. That essence that is within you. So it's not the you that looks pretty or has X accomplishment, but it's the you that doesn't have to do shit to feel enough. The you that is at the core on the inside. And so it's asking yourself, do you even know that person? Can you see that person within you? Can you see your spirit? Can you see your essence? Can you feel that? Can you remember how beautiful you are before the world told you that you weren't? Can you allow yourself to be that real, raw you and love every part of yourself, especially the parts that you don't like about yourself? Can you love those parts? Can you love your weaknesses, your imperfections? Can you start to see how you are already perfect? That you are already enough, that you have always been enough and always will be enough, regardless of how much you weigh, how well your clothes fit, how cute your hair looks, how far you can run, how fast you can run for, how much you can lift. Can you love yourself so much and value yourself so much that you want to do the best for yourself, that you put yourself first, that you take the best care of yourself? Can you love yourself so much that you naturally want to choose the best foods, the foods that come from earth, from Mother Nature, the most organic, simplest, highest frequency foods? Can you love yourself so much that you move your body to keep it open and strong and flexible? Can you love yourself so much that you rest your body when it feels tired, when it needs your attention? That you do things to keep it running at its best, that you go do hot cold therapy, you take time to go sit in nature, to color, to listen to music, to be with friends when you need to be with friends? Can you love yourself so much that you listen to what you feel like you need? How can you love your true self, your spirit, your essence? How much you love yourself is the degree to the quality of life you'll have and the level of vitality that you will feel in your body. So first, you need to you need to feel deserving of this love, right? In order to get yourself to actually slow down and take care of yourself. Then you actually have to cultivate self-love. You have to build it. You have to nurture it. You have to understand what it is, what it feels like to love the depth of you so that you can feel your absolute best. So self-love is the second skill. The third skill is learning how to feel and listen to your body. And it kind of sounds similar to the second skill, but it's different. You know, it's like when I first started this journey, I was so disconnected with my body. You know, I couldn't tell if I was hungry or not. I couldn't tell the difference between an empty stomach and hunger. I couldn't tell if I needed rest or if I was just being lazy. I couldn't tell when my body was craving certain foods or if my mind was just wanting something that tasted good. I couldn't tell when I should stop eating. Hell, I couldn't even freaking taste my food because I was so busy doing something else at the same time that I was eating, like working on my computer or scrolling social media or listening to a podcast or driving or thinking about something later that I had to do. You know, it's like I was so out of touch with how I felt because I was so busy trying to be enough, trying to keep up with this rat race of life. I didn't know how to bring my attention inward. I was so used to following plans and being a robot that I lost all of my intuition, all of my connection to my intuitive senses. So I had to spend a solid amount of time on training myself on remembering how to feel again. What does it feels like to listen to how your body feels? How do I do it? So that's the third skill, is learning how to develop this skill of listening, how to feel. Because if you can't feel your body because you're always thinking, you know, your mind is always monkeying around, like you got the monkey around, it's just jumping around from one thing to the next, and it's always thinking about the next thing to do, you know, the things that you need to do on your to-do list, what you didn't do earlier, what you need to get done, always thinking about food and your next workout or, you know, this person or whatever. Old, doesn't matter. So long as your attention is not on yourself, like those are precious opportunities for you to be taking the best care of yourself. And unfortunately, most people, their mind is not, they are not tapped in with themselves. They're always tapped into something outside of them. So that's a skill to learning how to turn your attention inward. Number 4, this fourth skill is learning how to trust yourself. So after you develop the ability to listen and feel feel yourself, to listen and feel what your body needs, what it's asking for to feel good, then you have to develop trust with your body. You know, I had to develop trust with my body and actually follow through with the things that my body was telling me. You know, so if I could feel that my body needed rest, knowing that I needed rest isn't enough. Long time in that layer of knowing, oh, I should rest, but it not actually resting. Right? I had to actually get myself to rest. Which means that I had to actually trust myself that resting was actually what I needed, to trust that signal, to trust that communication. If I had the feeling that my body was craving chocolate, it's not like just knowing, oh yeah, like it's okay to eat chocolate. I had to develop the trust that I wasn't going to go off the rails if I actually allowed myself to eat that chocolate. And so many of us don't realize until don't realize that until we pull these diet plans up, all these structures of these rules that we've kind of like ingrained in ourselves of how to eat and stuff like that, we don't realize how much trust we've lost in ourselves until we pull these things away. And again, like years of following diet plans and plans has just totally damaged our trust with ourselves. Years of following what other people say. Oh, tell me how to eat, tell me how to train. Right? We've put our trust into all these other people and all these other plans that we have zero trust in ourselves. And, you know, and it's that reason that we actually, the reason why we don't trust ourselves is because we're putting our trust in these plans and in other people. You know, we think we feel safe and at peace if we follow what people say, if we follow what the plan says. You know, I feel safe. I trust that I won't lose my body if I follow this plan. If I eat like this, if I train like this, the way this person tells me to train. But the funny thing is that, you know, you can't follow these plans and listen to your body. You know, it's like, so it's like if you feel like your body's saying you need chocolate, but the plan says no, and so you resist the chocolate, what happens is that urge just bigger and bigger until you actually lose control on chocolate. Same with training. If you feel like you need to rest, but you force yourself to go to the gym and do these prescribed workouts and, you know, at the prescribed intensity, you know, then because we feel safe if we just cross off all these on the list, on the training plan, you know, we follow the plan as it's written. Well, what happens is that we end up feeling really shitty. We feel completely exhausted. Our body, like we're replenishing our energy. And we find ourselves eventually feeling burnt out or injured and extremely hungry because it takes so much more energy to work out when we're tired, when we're like kind of going against our will, when we're not listening to our body. You know, eventually we have to take a day off. Or we just end up dreading the gym. We create this relationship with the gym where it's just like we hate it. We go, but we hate it. Like we just have to get through it. Right? So it's like really safe by following these plans and these people. You know, because what happens is we go off the rails. You know, we either burn out on the gym, or we burn out on, or we overeat, right? We like lose control on food because of all this control. And then we say, oh, I can't trust myself. And we go right back into thinking that we need to have more control. We need to have more discipline. We need to have more structure. But the control is what's causing us to go out of control. You know, the rigid structure is what's causing us to feel burned out, to eat a bunch of food, to gain weight, to get lazy and shitty, feel shitty. So we have to learn how to trust ourselves. We have to learn how to take this trust out of these plans and out of these people who are telling us how to eat and work out and when to rest and da-da-da. And we got to start to listen to ourselves, how to trust ourselves. So that's the fourth skill. And the fifth skill is how to eat and train from a place of love. And this is what I love the most. This is what I'd say is my specialty and separates me from most holistic coaches. Because if we want to achieve peak vitality in our body, we have to move and we have to eat well. Like, you know, it's just part of it. Like we are, you know, the body wants to be moved, and it wants to, it runs best off the cleanest sources of food. But we have to learn how to do this from a place of love and passion instead of something I have to do or should do. You know, eating well and moving your body has to become something that feels as natural as breathing air. And to get to this point will require a lot of mental and emotional training, you know, so that exercise becomes something that you truly do enjoy doing, that there's this harmonious experience with exercise instead of like this battle, you know, this heaviness or this obligation feeling. And eating well has to become a way to honor ourselves instead of an outlet to just feel like joy or comfort or convenience, right? And so this is the fifth skill, is learning how to eat and train from a place of love. And this is literally what my program is about, all 5 of these skills. But inside the self-mastery program, we spend 6 months just training the mind and the nervous system how to align with this love, how to align passion with exercise, how to align self-love with food, so that you naturally feel your best. So that you feel your best, you have the freedom to trust yourself, to take days off, to you can just never have to rely on anyone or anything to tell you what you should be doing. You become your own master, which is why it's called the self-mastery program. So there you have it, guys. My top 5 tips, skills to shifting from a weight loss mentality approach, which is centered around looking good, to a health and vitality approach, which is centered around feeling good. The focus is on feeling good. And like I said, I've spent the last 8-10 years dedicating myself to really understanding this work, to mastering this path of health and vitality, peak health and vitality. And I've developed a really awesome roadmap for those of you who are wanting, somebody an expert to give you, to lay out the steps, to lay out the steps to creating both, feeling your best and creating a body of vitality. So if you want to learn more about my self-mastery program, you can click the link in the show notes below, or you can go to my website or hit me up on Instagram, and we can get on a phone call and connect and see if it would be a good fit for you. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here with me. If you feel that my podcast is supporting you and if it feels good in your body, please write a brief testimonial so that the podcast can get ranked higher, which would ultimately allow me to share more and more of my tips and my wisdom with you. And just really so that, we can share the love, so that more people can tune into this kind of knowledge, and, we can step more out of these dieting ways of living and step into health and vitality just all over the world. So much, much love to you all. See you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Mastering You podcast with me, Natalie Newhart. I hope you're feeling more empowered and inspired on how to master your mind, your body, and your life. If you don't want to miss your next training with me, be sure to subscribe to the show wherever you consume your podcasts. And definitely connect with me on Instagram. I'm natalie.newhart on Instagram. Much, much love to you all. Until next time.
The power of love is here now. The power of now is here now. The power of you, me, is here to create magic on us.